Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy David Hanlon, aka the Laptop Legend, and in today's video I want to talk about two important concepts. Number one, how I was able to accurately predict the crash of Doge yesterday, and I actually have another really good example that I don't know why I forgot to mention in the video yesterday, where I personally, because of this phenomenon, sell the news, I personally lost $16,700 overnight. So I want to talk about that because absolutely insane, and it's just why this lesson is burned into my memory. And then number two, I want to talk about what I think the future of Doge holds now that Elon has announced Doge 1. And if you haven't heard about that, it's basically where he's funding a mission to the moon and accepting Doge as payment for some of these things. So I think it could be pretty interesting to see this as a catalyst, but I want to provide you guys with my perspective and what I plan on doing with Dogecoin at this point, just so you guys can understand where I'm coming from. Because again, I'm not an expert, but I've been around in the market long enough to start seeing these patterns and hopefully provide some perspectives that some of these other YouTube channels might not give you. Because I've literally seen some YouTube videos where they're like, Dogecoin to $5 tomorrow, and it gets like 200,000 views, bro. I'm not calling out any channels in particular, but if you guys are in this space, you might know who I'm talking about. And it's pretty crazy, man. I don't know why YouTube promotes that stuff because it generates a lot of hype, and I think it leaves a lot of people back holding and not thinking super clearly. You know, I think Dogecoin has the potential to run a lot more, but saying Dogecoin $5 tomorrow is I mean, come on, man. That's just ridiculous. So again, hopefully you find my my perspective a little bit more grounding than some of those other channels. If you find it helpful, please smash that like button on this video and subscribe if you haven't already, because your guys' support means the world to me. I make these videos about stocks, about crypto every single day, and I've helped a lot of people make a lot of money, and I would love to have you be another one of them. So let's dive into my computer so I can talk some more about this important stuff. Alright guys, so I'm here at my laptop, and just to quickly review the chart of Doge from last night, again, it ran up very nicely and had a lot of hype going into SNL, and this is really what was priced into Dogecoin already. The reason that it was going up so much was because everyone was expecting SNL to be some type of great thing where Elon Musk was pumping up Dogecoin, and that was already priced in when the price went from, what, 37 cents on Sunday to a high of 75 plus cents. And right as he first went on, and I think he first mentioned it, we got a ton of green candles in a row. And when I see this, I start thinking, sell, 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 get out, because I know a huge red candle is coming. And my years of experience in the market has taught me this. And again, if you're a newbie, you might be thinking, oh my gosh, a ton of green candles, this thing is gonna go really high. I wanna buy after seeing all these green candles. But whenever I see a ton of green candles, I know a really big red candle is coming very shortly thereafter. And I actually took a screenshot because I saw a crazy big red candle, and it actually took me by surprise how quickly this thing dropped. So I'll put a screenshot in here, but this thing is actually nuts. Yeah, I'm looking at the screenshot on my phone right here, but I'll throw it up on the screen. But I mean, it's pretty crazy, guys. And from that point on, after Elon Musk called Dogecoin pretty much a hustle, which if you guys don't know what that means, when someone hustles you, it's like kind of take advantage of you for getting your money, if that makes sense. So if Dogecoin is a hustle, that's not really a good thing per se. So because of that, because he didn't come out and say, man, Dogecoin is incredible, Dogecoin is going to do whatever, since that increase was already priced in, people expected him to say something good about it, it sold off really hard, and it went as low as 38 cents. So I mean, from a high of almost 76 down to 38 cents, I mean, that's almost a 50% drop in, like, what is that, from 5 p.m. to 7 a.m. In 14 hours. That's almost a 50% drop. And I think hopefully if you saw my video, you guys were prepared for this. And if you sold some up here in the 70s or high 60s or even mid 60s, you rebought down in the, you know, under 40 or at 40 or low 40 or mid 40s. And you can see now it's bouncing very nicely. And this is something that happens a lot of times. But here's the thing. It does vary based on what you're looking at. So not every time does something bounce after the sell the news phenomenon. And, you know, sometimes bounces are quick. You know, sometimes you get a bunch of red candles in a row, you get a nice bounce, and then it keeps selling off more after that. And I want to talk about real quickly the reason that this sell the news phenomenon is so ingrained into me. So in my previous video, I talked about Humble, HMBL, where the CEO of that went on CNBC to talk about NFTs and stuff like that. And as soon as he got off, it sold off really hard. So, I mean, I already kind of expected because of this, but someone actually commented to me that another example of the sell the news phenomenon is CCIV. And if you guys are not familiar with this, it's basically a SPAC, a shell empty company that was merging with Lucid Motors to basically take them public. That's my understanding of it. And when this news actually came out, it was not exactly what people were predicting. And there was already so much hype that was built into the stock that the price had like run up 3x over a couple of months. No, not more than that. I think it was more than that. Look, I have the chart pulled up right here. So if I go to right here, you can see, yeah, so it ran up from $10 all the way to a high of $64.86. And this is one of those ones that was really being pumped by a lot of YouTubers. And again, I'm not going to call any people out, but this is the type of thing where you get in like a group mentality. You think, my goodness, this is just going to keep going forever. It's up a ton, but man, it's still a great buy here at 64, all right? And a lot of people thought that. Well, when the actual news came out, that's what this is. It came out after hours, guys. So the stock was trading normally. The news came out right here where you see this big spike in volume. And I can zoom in just a little bit. But it started spiking, but then people actually read the news and figured out that it wasn't as great as it seemed. And so it started selling off. And it bounced here and then sold off even harder. Made a new low. Sold off all the way down to 50. And I tried to dip buy, and I ended up dip buying right here at 52. I got a pretty bad entry. I dip bought market like an idiot. And this thing started to try to bounce. It got as high as 53. So like when you see a bunch of red candles, typically you get a nice little bounce, man. Bounce from 50 to 53. Okay, that's a decent bounce. But here's the thing. It just kept selling off. And it broke down under 50. I tried to cut my losses at 50, but it locked me out because it was after hours. And apparently you can't always sell after hours. I didn't know this. So now I never trade after hours. But I had 1,000 shares from 52, guys. And this thing tanked, and it tried to bounce again, and it just kept selling off lower and lower and lower. And I was able to get out the next day, sometime in the morning. It ended up bouncing out, and I got out at, I believe, 37. So I got out at 37. And it did end up bouncing a little higher that day. You know, if I had held, okay, I could have gotten out as high as 43. But here's what the chart looks like if I zoom out and show you guys some more. And again, there were so many YouTubers saying, man, this thing is it's just going to recover, guys. Just buy more right here. Buy more in the 40s because this thing is going back up. It's going to stabilize around the 45 area based on all my calculations. But you never know. And when hype is already built into something, it can just keep fading off. And look what happened now, guys. I mean, literally, it never, ever came close to those levels again. After that day, I never would have been able to sell at 37. And again, with 1,000 shares, I mean, wow, it's just nuts. It's absolutely nuts. So I took a $16,000 loss on that trade. And I learned some valuable lessons. You know, when something has a sell the news phenomenon, it does not have to bounce. And just because it goes down does not mean that it is a good discounted buy, because it can just keep dropping, see a fake out bounce, and then just keep dropping more. And if you never take any profits near the top of something, if you add on the way back down, you can turn a profitable overall trade into a negative trade. Imagine if you bought, I don't know, say you bought CCIV at $30 the first time, okay? And it spikes up here, you never sell any. And then it dips down here, and you dip buy at, you dip buy at 35. You're thinking, all right, that's a great discount. Now your average is higher. And then it dips some more. Suddenly it's under your 30 average. Now it dips down here. You rebuy some more at 25. And it keeps dipping. And then it bounces back up, but you don't sell any. And now it keeps going down. And now it's at, now it's at 21. And you dip by at 21. And it keeps going lower. So now when you were already up 100% on your trade and more from 30, now you're super negative and you're holding a ton of bags. I just hate to see people do that. So that's why I wanted to make this video, just so you guys can keep that in mind. And for me, I've learned that it's best to take high quality setups over and over, and you're more likely to be consistently profitable if you do that versus, just buying something and holding and hoping. So that's why I prefer to make trades where there are actual catalysts immediately coming up that are going to affect the trade. So when you get something that is so obvious as a sell-off like this, and then it sees a big panic, that's a pretty obvious dip buy as well. And that's the type of trade that is worth taking, in my opinion. So I actually missed this because I was sleeping and I didn't set a limit buy because I wasn't sure how low it could go. You could have set a limit buy for 40 and gotten executed there, or 45, or even 50, and you would have gotten filled, and you would be profitable right now. But I didn't do that, and I don't currently have a position, and I'm not wondering. No, I guess I am one. I'm not sure what's going to happen from this point, because you can see here, Doge 1, SpaceX accepts Dogecoin as payment to launch Doge 1 mission to the moon next year. And while this sounds cool and all, you know, they're accepting the meme-inspired cryptocurrency as full payment for the lunar payload. I'm just unclear, I guess, kind of what the point of this is. I mean, I guess it's trying to make it more mainstream, but I mean, does that guarantee that the company will actually be paying with Dogecoin? I don't think so. Does that guarantee the price will continue to go up? I personally don't think so. And, you know, something that you do have to keep in mind about Doge is that the more people that adopt it, the more companies that promote it, obviously the more hype is going to be generated, and the more people are probably going to buy it, and the more the price will go up. So that is something you have to keep in mind. And I think this could have a positive impact on that. And I think that's part of the reason that there was actually such a nice bounce. I'm not looking at CCIV. There was part of the reason that there was such a nice bounce from this area here, because I think it was announced somewhere in this area right before all these green candles. So you got to keep that in mind. You know, as these catalysts continue to come out, you get a bigger increase in the price of Doge. But to me, I prefer to take trades where I'm extremely confident that there's going to be some type of movement in the price. So for me, at this point right here, I'm not taking any position. And that's not to say that it can't break back above this level. That is absolutely not to say that. But to me, the safest buy is after a huge dip, because you know that it's more likely to bounce, versus if you buy after a huge run-up, it's more likely to come back down. So that's how I feel. And again, you guys don't have to listen to me. You don't have to take your profits. You don't have to do anything. I'm not giving financial advice. I'm just a dude in my basement. But I've been in the trading world a while, and I've learned a few things. So I still think it'd be cool if we could see Doge over $1. I really do. But at some point, it will put in a top that it never breaks past again. I don't know where that is. I don't know when that's going to be. But at some point, it will do that. And you just need to be careful if you've never taken any profits, because if you start averaging down on dips and then it just keeps dipping lower and you never took profits, you could turn a very profitable trade into a negative trade. That's all I want to warn you guys about. But again, I have this just to calculate how big that dip bounce was, because again, if you buy 10,000 at 38, assuming you could buy and sell perfectly at the top and bottom, look at that. That's a 60% gain. I think that's pretty cool, man. 50% dip, 60% bounce off those lows. That's pretty incredible. And that's assuming it doesn't go any higher. I mean, it very well could. But to me, right now, it's personally a no trade for me. And look at this, guys. Look at this. Absolutely crazy. Lost $16,000 overnight. And again, that was a day that I was already up $6,000 on. I had already made $6,000 that day trading before this stupid mistake. This is my biggest loss by far of all time. I've never had a red day anywhere close to this big. My biggest red day besides this was like negative $500. Maybe like negative 1,000. I don't even know at this point. I mean, it's so much bigger than any other red day. It's crazy. And that's why this lesson really stuck with me. So hopefully you guys can learn this lesson as well. And if there's any other hype days like this for Dogecoin, maybe the day that the I don't know, they're going to put the rocket on the moon. Maybe that's another big hype day and everyone says, oh, it's going to break $10 that day. Maybe ride the run up into that hype, but then consider selling before it, because in case something goes wrong, in case people realize, oh, it's already priced in, you're not going to suffer from the massive dump that inevitably follows. That's my main takeaway for this. So hopefully you found this video helpful, guys. Again, I just want to provide my perspective as someone who has been in the market longer than some people. And again, I'm not an expert. I haven't been doing this forever, but that's my personal opinion. Take it as you will. Yeah, that's it. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, let's grow better together. Bebé, dime por qué te mientes. No puedes esconder todo lo que tú por mí sientes.